the FUNLAB Pro controller. Now when I got the box, I was like, oh wow, look at this. The design looks so cool. And then I took it out of the box and I was like, oh, what? Like, it's just black. Like, what is with that? That sucks. I was really let down. But there's a trick. When you turn this on, boom, look at that. There's RGB LED lights underneath it that, you know, show the design through. So this is actually the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet version. So you can see all of the starter Pokemon. So you got Fuecoco, you got Quaxley, and then whatever that one was called, which I can't remember. So Sprigatito, that's it. I remembered Sprigatito. So I really like the fact that you've got a design under there, which is like basically completely hidden. Let me just turn off the switch, there we go. When the lights turn off, you can't really see it, which is a really, really nice touch. But, you know, I just wanted to show you that first. Let me go over the specs. So we will go over price last at the end of this video, but this has a 950 milliamp hour battery, which, you know, they say gives about 12 hours. Now, I'm not too sure if that's with the lights on or with them off, because you can turn the lights off, which is pretty cool. It's got gyro motion controls, which we always like to see. It's got macro paddles on the back, which is crazy because, you know, I like to see that. So you've got macro paddles and they can be put as just singular presses, or you can assign a multiple button macro as well, which is cool. It's got 4 light modes. So you press and hold like the button, and then I think the plus button, and it changes it from like breathing to like flashing to whatever that is. I'm not too sure. I suppose that's off. It's also got 5 levels of rumble, which you can change via the little rumble button in the top corner there. So I think that's like 0, 25%, 50%, 75% and off, or 100% or something like that. Now, one thing I wasn't expecting to see inside the box, you know, we get our USB-C and USB-A cable to charge it and stuff, which is in that. But we also get another D-pad. So it comes with this kind of like Xboxy inspired design just there, but you can actually swap it out for a normal one. So I'm pretty sure we can just pull this off. Yep, like that. And then we can actually, you know, put this one on and have a regular D-pad. But I would say, like, I probably prefer the other one, but you know, at least that's the thing. So here's another version, and you can see them now. That's the one it comes with, and then this is the one that I've just swapped it to. Oh, and this is a different version, by the way, which is that Among Us game. So yeah, it's all right, but it's not as cool as this one. And on top of all that, we have turbo as well. So you can assign turbo to pretty much anything as far as I'm aware via the turbo button on the back there. So the controller is obviously Switch inspired, but this is a Bluetooth controller, so you could effectively use this with anything. You could connect it to your Mac, to your PC, to an Android device or anything like that, which is pretty cool because it is just literally a, you know, a Bluetooth controller. Now there's no sync button, so what you actually need to do is press Y and the home button and hold it for about 3 seconds, and then it will enter pairing mode, and then you can connect this to whatever device you want. I didn't have a problem connecting it to my Switch, and you know, I found that really easy. But one thing it does have, which I'll show you here, wake from sleep. So I've just turned off my Switch just there, and I'm going to press and hold the home button. And there we go, the Switch is turned on, and easy peasy. We always like wake from sleep, right? Now the controller itself, let's get the like black one, is this kind of sort of satin finish design. It's not really a fingerprint magnet, which I like, and on the back it does have like a whole sort of grippy thing on there. It is just kind of plastic bobbles, which, you know, does aid to grip. So when you've got it in your hand, you can feel that there is a bit of grip, but it's not the grippiest controller I've ever seen. Now the whole thing does feel a little bit cheap, I will say that. Like, it's not like the cheapest I've felt, it's not horrendous, but just because it's super lightweight, I think, and it's a mainly plastic construction, feels a little bit cheap, but it doesn't rattle, which is nice. That was my ring hitting it, if you could hear any rattle. That's actually like a solid construction, which I like. Again, the design is fantastic, and you can turn it off, or you can even just switch the colors. So with that button, you can press it and it will rotate around like so many different colors here, which is cool. But I like the green one because it shows really well on the camera. But you know, I do like that. It looks great in person. It really looks good in person. Like, it just looks fantastic. But you can turn it off as well. If you press and hold the button for like 3 seconds, it will turn the lights off if you want to save battery life. But to be honest, I just quite like it static rather than all the other effects. Now, the buttons, they feel okay. They're a little bit mushy. You know, they're all right. You know, the buttons are fine, and there's nothing really to say about that. They're just very slightly mushy. The D-pad is quite sort of clicky, so it's not the best D-pad I've ever felt, but it's not bad either. It's not like the worst, but it's certainly not like, you know, 8-bit do level of D-pad, right? But, you know, there we go. I like the fact that it's got these macro paddles. So it's got an ML and an MR, and then this is XR and XL. Now, these buttons above are to assign the paddle. So ML is for XL. So you can press it and then assign a singular button press, so that can just be A or B or whatever, or you can do a macro where you can do AB, XY, trigger or whatever, and then it will assign that sort of series of patterns to this back paddle. And the same can be said with this one. And of course, you've got turbo as well. So that's pretty cool. So turbo, if you don't know, you press, like, let's say we assigned it to A, you can press and hold A and it will keep repeating it for you. Or you can do it the other way around, where you press it once and it will keep repeating it until you cancel it out, or you can just not use turbo at all. It's all down to you. The triggers and stuff, again, are a little bit mushy. They're not amazing, and they've got really small amount of like actuation point, do you know what I mean? So there's not very much movement. No, they are not analog, they are digital, as you can see. They're okay, they're not the greatest, but to be honest, I would say this is more like something that you might buy for a younger gamer. Do you know what I mean? Like, the pattern's very cool, it's very fun. It feels, even though I said it's like feels a little bit cheap, I would actually say because it's all plastic, it's probably going to take a bit of a beating in terms of like sticky fingers, a bit of a drop, something like that. It doesn't feel like anything could go wrong with it in terms of like maybe from a drop or something like that, if that makes sense. And yeah, I just think it's a very fun controller. Haha, it's FUNLAB. Totally forgot the brand was FUNLAB there for a second. So, well, there you go. It says in the name, right? But yeah, overall, I like the feel of it. It works well. The joysticks, you know, are pretty good. I've not done a dead zone test, so, you know, maybe tell me if you want that, and maybe I'll do a short about it. But yeah, overall, I quite like this, but let's talk about the price. So it's not the cheapest controller ever. I mean, in America, I've been seeing this full price for $70. Now, that's like UK price of almost like an official Pro controller price. I'd probably buy a Pro controller, but I have seen this on sale for around $50. Definitely makes it more acceptable in terms of pricing. And again, I do like the extra features this has. Those macro paddles and stuff are very cool. It's got the turbo and all that good stuff. It's got various level of rumble as well, which you can change with that button. Can't remember if I told you or not. But yeah, it's got gyro as well. It's a pretty decent controller. It's up to you whether you think it's worth that price or not. But there we go, that is the FUNLAB's controller. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think of this controller. And go and check out me and AJ over on our podcast channel just up here, and another video of me down here. But yeah, me and AJ talk about all things gaming. We have really cool chats over there, so head to that channel as well. Make sure you subscribe there, but subscribe here first. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.